What is up, Tex members? I am so excited to be sharing this video with you today. This is going to be a defensive tutorial. It's primarily going to be focused in on cover four quarters, match defense a little bit. We're going to talk a little bit about 3-3-5 to 3-3-5 wide, some of that stuff that I've been doing recently. This is actually going to pair very nicely with our 3-3-5 wide ebook. So if you like this video and you have not already picked up the 3-3-5 wide defensive ebook, that is available in this description, and it's just $15. You pair these two videos together, and I personally guarantee you that your defense will be the best that it could possibly be in this game. I'm talking hours and hours of lab work that we have basically synthesized down into a 1-hour video for you guys this week. So I'm really, really excited to share this with you. Now, if you do have questions, I do want to let you know that I have a new cell phone number. My number is in the top left-hand corner of the screen. It's also in the description. My number is 208-218-6900. I am working on importing or getting all the contacts shifted over, making sure I get you guys all saved. So if I ask you, what your name is or whatever, just give me a little bit of grace as I had to change numbers. But anyways, that's my phone number. And again, if you have any questions, just shoot me a text and we can work through this. But again, we're talking 3-3-5 wide today, so let's jump in. I'm so jacked for this video. This has been, I cannot even tell you how many hours I've put into the game for this. So anyways, let's just jump in. So first things first, I recommend running the Packers with this defense and regs. If you're going to play MUT, the biggest thing that you need is one step ahead on everybody. One step ahead is really, really good for not just for man coverage, but it's also really good for match coverage, and we're going to be running a lot of match coverage out of this. I'm going to show you in this video how to stop literally every formation in Madden 21. Tight doubles offset or like tight compression, trips tight end, bunch, eye close, strong wing, you name it. We're going to learn how to stop in this video. So this is a really, really, really good thing. And like I said, if you want to go deeper on this defense, or if you want to get the kind of full comprehensive scheme, this paired with that 3-3-5 wide ebook, because the 3-3-5 wide ebook will show you a little bit more of the blitzes, will show you a little bit more of the run defenses and things like that. But anyways, first things first is depth chart. So I'm going to put Zadarius Smith in here at the left side. I'm going to put Gary in at the right side. You want your best pass rusher on the left of screen, defensive end, and then your other guy is on the right of screen. If you can, again, in MUT, I would recommend 4 one-step aheads. You want one step ahead on all of your, in my opinion, you want one step ahead on your slot corner, your other 2 corners, and then one of your safeties. Now, as far as the rest of the depth chart, we're going to put Kader Holman in here at the left, at the slot corner position. We're then going to put Perry Nickerson on the left corner. We've got Kevin King and Josh Jackson at the safety positions. And then we've got Jair Alexander out here. Now, if you wanted to, you could put Jair Alexander in the slot. If you're playing more gun bunch, I would recommend him in the slot. If you're playing against trips tight end, I'd recommend him out on the outside. And then we've got Savage in the middle for our user, and we've got Adrian Amos on the left of screen, outside linebacker. Now, the audibles for this scheme, relatively simple. The big one we're going to be going over is cover 4, show 2. We're going to show you how to literally, you can literally take almost everything away with this one play. And then Mike Blitz 3. Now, the full ebook goes into cover 2 man, Mike Blitz 0, Mike Blitz 3, more in depth. This video is going to specifically focus on cover 4, show 2. Okay? Cover 4, show 2 is where we're going to spend most of our time. And then also, obviously, cover 4 drop. So there's 2 things that I want to hit on really quickly. There's 2 different types of ways to run this defense. The first one is zone drops, and the second one is match coverage. We're going to first start with match coverage, and then we're going to work into zone drops. And we're going to show you how to defend trips tight end. We're going to show you how to defend gun bunch, like I said, and we're also going to show you how to defend compression sets like 2x2 type stuff, and as well as if we have time, we will also show you how to defend some of the under center stuff that people are going to run and some of the spread stuff. But if you guys want a whole tutorial, like I said, it is all available to you in the ebook. All right, so curl flat, and like I said, we're coming out and we're going cover 4, show 2. That's how we're going to start. Now, when you're running this defense, here's your adjustments. Actually, relatively simple. All you're going to do is you're going to shift your defensive line to the side of strength. So whichever side the running back on, that's where you're going to shift them. So every time we're going to shift them to the right here, and then we're going to crash our line out. Now, when you're playing cover 4 quarters, this cover 4 show 2 is actually a match coverage. You notice here quarter flat, quarter flat. It's not a drop coverage, it's a match coverage. What that means is this is cover 4 quarters. That's how this is going to play. So when you're setting your defense up, you want to obviously remember that. Now, one thing that I like to do is I will almost always take this defensive end out here, Rashawn Gary. He's almost always going to go into a zone. So my favorite zone to put him on is a bluff blitz. I'll almost always bluff blitz him, and you see it's going to put him in a 3-rec hook here. That means if the running back goes out on a route, that 3-rec hook will typically go with the running back. Okay, on the right side, you'll see that I'm going to put my linebacker on the right side. I can put him in any zone that I want. Normally, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put him into a vertical hook. Okay, normally. Occasionally what I'll do is I'll man him up, but this is just a 2-man rush pressure. And really what I like to do with this is essentially my job as the user is to take away the circle receiver. Wherever the circle receiver goes, that's who I've got to cover. So let me show you curl flat here real quick. And what you're going to notice at the snap of the ball is my job is to cover this man right here. I'm supposed to take that guy wherever he goes. As you see, I take him wherever he goes. The reason why is the biggest problem in trips tight end, the biggest issue that you're going to face is that receiver right there. Let me show you an instant replay and kind of break this coverage down. So as you'll see here, first things first, if you notice, this 3-rec hook goes man-to-man on the running back from the jump. And as you look at this here, we basically have bracketed coverage. Wherever that running back goes, he has 3 people on him. If they want to try to force that in between 3 people, be my guest. On the left side, you see we've got basically matched coverage here. Taking that stuff away, we have a vertical hook in the vicinity to stop that curl route. And obviously, we have that streak double team right up the seam. Okay? Now, one other thing that you can do with this, and this is a little secret tip here, but basically what you can do is you do the same adjustments that I just told you. You're just going to, instead, you're going to man up Savage onto the tight end, okay? And what you're going to notice here is this quarter zone on the right will play the proper match principles here. So what that means is I can literally let this go, and as you'll see here, they'll match onto Devontae whenever he comes across. The problem with that is just for curl flat. The problem with that is like if they try to do that, if I try to do that out of PA counter go, you're going to notice that I can't really do that. So I'm going to do the same principle that I just showed you out of PA counter go, but because it's a crossing route and not a post route, unfortunately, it's not going to work properly, and that safety is going to flow with Robert Tonyan. So you'll see right here, even though I have man coverage across, Devontae's still running wide open for about 30 yards. So what I like to tell people is your job as a user on this is you do not worry about the tight end or the running back. If they want to kill you with flat routes, then we'll take care of that down the road. Your 100% priority is to take Davante Adams man-to-man wherever he goes. Okay, that to me is the most important thing that I could tell you, because out of everything that they can do to beat cover 4 quarters, the biggest thing they can do, and literally you're going to see, I'm going to literally leave the tight end alone completely. I'm just jetting out to Devontae, and if he cuts left, I'm going left. If he cuts right, I'm going right. Every single time. Literally immediately jet out. And as you see, if they try to throw this, I've got 2 people in that vicinity. Okay? That play right there that I just showed you at a double sail is the best chance they got at beating this zone. Or at beating this coverage. And if you wanted to, you could try to stand right here with your user. The problem is if you stand right here, and I'm just going to show you that out of bunch tight end. So if you stand right here with your user and they run inside zone, you see they can kind of get it through. Okay, so that's just something you have to be aware of. That's where the cutback can really kill you out of inside zone. That's why I personally suggest standing right here, because there's normally nothing they can do out of inside zone. Now, one thing you can do is you can try to 3-rec you can try to use 2 3-recs basically. But I want to show you, so like, let me show you like doubles and sail that play. Whoops. Let me show you that one more time. So doubles and sail. Let me show you that. So you see here, what's going to happen is that 3-rec, he's going to leave him alone, right? Now, the thing that you do notice is they do play a little bit better overall within that. So, you know, the issue with doubles and sail is that the flood concept can cause some problems. Now, when you drop a 3-rec from your linebacker over here, what happens is, out of doubles and sail, if I try to run that same flood concept, that linebacker is going to get passed off, and they should back off on him. And as you see right there, the safety gets out there to make the play. Okay, but it's one of those things where I would suggest that if you were going to do that adjustment, then you would have to do 2 other adjustments. I would recommend a 3-rec, and then I would recommend a curl flat zone from that slot corner. That's going to take away basically slant routes and angle routes and really anything, honestly, that they can do to you on that left side. Because you'll see here that curl flat will go with him up top. But, I mean, as you can see right there, you know, now you're in trouble. So, you know, just got to be careful with that, in my opinion, as you're putting this scheme together. So anyway, all that to say, what I would do is I would vert hook that left side guy. And then I would take that and put that in a 3-rec hook zone. Now, you could do something like, if you wanted to, you could seam flat and vert hook. You can do that. What we're looking to try to do, what would be perfect out of this, is if we could get a jam on him. But I don't know if we'll be able to here. So, you see, if we could get that jam out there, but see, unfortunately, we can't really get that just because of the alignment of the alignment of the formation. If we could get a jam on Davante Adams, that would be awesome. You know, like if I spread the linebackers here, now you'll see I'm a little bit more outside. And really what I'm trying to do, like I said, is I'm trying to get a jam on him, especially on that corner route, just to slow it down just enough. So you see like right here, you know, I'm not able to quite get that jam out there, but as you see, I mean, we're able to kind of slow that route down. That's the one route you got to really worry about, in my opinion, when you're playing this in a 3-by-1 setting, is you got to worry about that corner route. So if you spread your linebackers, you see that I'm able to do something about it. I'm able to put, you know, maybe a vert hook or a seam flat out there, and they're able to kind of contain a little better. So that's a little adjustment that you can do, is you can spread those linebackers. Look at that right there. I mean, you see, it's a sketchy throw. It is a sketchy throw. Now, let me show you a traditional flood concept. So let's say that they do a traditional flood concept. Make sure that you spread your linebacker so that you can get that rerouting that we want to be able to see here. If you want to man him up, he will press him if you man him up. The problem is if you press him and he bits the instant win animation, that's where you can really run into some problems. So anyways, let me show you a traditional flood. And what I mean by that is this right here. 3-by-1 flood right here. And if you watch on the left side, you see that corner route is really, it's not, I mean, the quarterback, it's almost always going to glitch out. It's not going to be there. They're not going to be able to throw this corner route. And again, if you wanted to, you could man him up and shade inside if you wanted to. The problem, again, if you do that, you don't want to shade underneath because it's going to mess up your match coverage. If you do that, I just want you to be prepared for what can happen. What can happen is if you don't win that press animation, you'll see right here, and right there we did win, and you see we take it away. But it's one of those things that if he beats the press on that corner route, the problem is that yellow or that deep inside quarter, and you'll see if I run this 10, 15 times, I'm gonna complete probably maybe 15 or several of them, because you're going to think it's completely taken away. The problem is he's not always going to win. Like right here he is, and he is winning right here. But if he loses that press, that's where you can run into issues. Now, I will tell you that I have personally not ran it a ton with the spread linebacker look. I normally don't do that. So that is something that you can have going for you. And again, you just want to shade inside. You don't want to shade underneath. You just want to shade inside. He will naturally press him. The beauty of this is, like, let's say you're running your standard setup here. Watch, he's going to press him all the way across. Reroute. See the reroute that he gets on him? Takes that all the way away. I mean, that might be the move. That literally might be the move. We might have just found that in the midst of this video. If you take... So what I'm saying here is all we're doing is we're pressing. And then we're shifting our D-line to the running back side, crashing the line out so that we get the shoot angles for the run. And then from there, the big important thing is that we spread our linebackers. You see that, just that little movement right there? We're going to man that left of screen outside linebacker up on Devontae Adams, and we're going to shade him inside. Do not shade him inside and underneath. Just shade him inside. And what it's going to do is it's going to create a natural trail technique. You have your 3-rec here on that side of the field. And now what you'll see is this is really, really good. Let me show you like PA counter go here, just so that you can see some stuff. But let's say they go PA counter go, and you see here, I mean, you see he pretty much wins the press almost every single time. So far, he's like 5 for 5. Normally with press coverage, you're like 50-50. It's like you win one, you lose one, you win one, you lose one. This is 100% because we're not pressing. Technically, we're just shading inside. We're not pressing, so he doesn't get in that position where he's having trouble. So this is 100% the move. You want to man him up, unless now here's where here is where the move changes. Okay, let's say that they motion somebody. So let's say that they're running curl flat, okay, and they're going to do that. But the thing is, they're going to motion Tavon Austin to the left. If they motion somebody, I almost always really believe in manning him up. With that backside linebacker. So what you'll see here is if I motion Tavon Austin, I'm going to take Adrian Amos and I'm going to man him up onto triangle, snap the ball, and now what you'll notice is you get that nice match coverage, but you also have that corner now sitting over there. Because it's it turns this trips tight end into a 2x2 setting. Okay? It turns it into a 2x2 setting. One of the things we haven't touched on yet is the man alignment. So this is another thing that we'll touch on just briefly here. If you run man align, you'll see that this does probably create even a better look for your quarters, especially with that press trick. You can still use your press, but you see right there, he instantly beats him. Now Jair Alexander was in a good position to make a play on that, but when you man align and press, it can jack it up a little bit. So, I would just spread your linebackers, and then I would just do not shade down. Shade inside. If you shade down, it will mess everything up. So just shade inside. He's going to naturally press him, but you'll see if you use that simple shade trick, see how he doesn't beat him? He never wins if you use that one little simple trick. So remember, every formation has a problem receiver that you've got a problem that you have to solve. That's how you solve this one, okay? Now, there's some other things that you can do from this. There's a lot of really good blitzes from this formation. We're not going to go over those today. Those are available in the full scheme. There's also some other coverages, some cover 3 matches, and some different things like that you can utilize. Again, those are all broken down in the ebook below. So if you enjoy the quarters breakdown, this is just one piece of the full defense, and that defense is available in the description if you want to get it. In my opinion, it is the best defense in the game. Okay, so let's talk about motion over. So when they motion over, it's almost every single time they motion over, you're going to see some type of in-breaking pattern. So, for example, one of the plays that they're going to go to is this X spot. Okay, and what they'll probably do is they'll probably wheel the running back. Probably put 2 drags out here, and then they'll, maybe put a fade out there, something like this, right? Again, as soon as they motion over, my rule of thumb is I always man him up. So I'm always going to man him up right here, and I also have to know where my 3-rec hook is. So if I have to play underneath, I need to play underneath over here. As you can see, everything is backed. That post route has 4 people on it. Literally 4 people in coverage on it. I want to jump into instant replay for just a brief second here, and I want to show you that literally this takes it all away. The quarters does such a good job. You see right here, they pass off these drags beautifully. I mean, this is like, you cannot ask for better coverage from the quarter flats right here. They sit right on the drags. The wheel route is taken. You notice that right there, that 3-rec hook. This is why the 3-rec is so important in trips tight end. If you put a 3-rec on the running back side, to me it is super important. Here's why. If you watch, he matches that running back all the way up the field, completely takes that wheel route away, and then obviously we were able to play really solid defense. Now, I want to talk a little bit about curl flat from through the lens of something else really just briefly here. And that is to talk about it through the lens of the running back route. So if I streak this guy and do all this, right, I just want you to watch it. Again, you're coming over here. Every time, you're coming over here. But if you watch here, you see that the running back is not, he's kind of not open. Like, he's kind of open, but he's not open. And I want to dig into that a little bit. So as far as my user goes on this next play here, I'm going to move him out of the way. But again, it's a pass commit. Now, with my user, I think I'm just literally gonna, just kind of keep, just blitz him or whatever. But I just want you to watch Aaron Jones on this play. So if I'm throwing this, right, look at the match coverage. It doesn't always stop it, but it's in the vicinity. Now, the really important thing is that you have got to pass commit. It's like super, super important that you pass commit on this so that defensive lineman drops back. For whatever reason, curl flat is a really, really glitchy play. And if you just watch here, because the running back's on a delay route, the 3-rec sometimes gets weird. But watch here. See how the 3-rec, now you've got him in bracket and coverage, and there's nowhere to throw it. There's literally nowhere to throw the ball. That is why this is such a powerful defense. And the beauty is you could do it from anyone on the right side. So, for example, let's say you wanted to do it from your, let's say that you wanted to do this from your nose tackle right here, Kenny Clark. As long as you pass commit, okay? As long as you pass commit, he'll drop back. He's got inside leverage, and bam. In Mutt, that's an interception. If you're playing in regs and it's a passing situation, you're not worried about the run, I would sub in Montravius Adams. He has like 75 jumping on the defensive line position and pretty good speed. He's going to be able to make a play on that. Okay? But you can drop any of these people. Another example is if you wanted to, if you knew this was coming, another thing that I like to do is I will typically drop, like what I would do is I would drop this guy into the man coverage, right? And then what I would do is I would drop the linebacker on the right into a 3-rec, bluff blitz type situation. And now what you'll see is you've got a couple bluff blitzes there. But you'll see, I mean, they do a decent job, and they sit on him. They really do a good job of sitting on it. They don't always stop it, but they're in there. They're right in that area. Now, I do want to show you what happens whenever they, obviously have some time in the pocket, because you are only rushing 2. So I just want to show you kind of what happens, when the routes break down. So again, we're just going to snap the ball here, and I want you to watch R1. So if I wait on this and wait on this and wait on this, you see that he's throwing it into an inside quarter, right? He's throwing it into an inside quarter, guys. Now, that's ideally where you would want your user. You'd want to be able to easily, pretty much by and large, that press animation is going to work well for you. So you're not going to have to worry too much about the right side of the field. So, in the situation that happens, like right here, look, he wins. I see he wins. Okay, I can just sit on the running back. There's nothing else I need to guard. Okay, but that's curl flat, and that's one of the best. That's probably the best passing play in the game from trips tight end. So that covers, again, that covers 3x1. 2x2, like I said, is pretty much you're going to do that. Now, PA counter go is a little bit unique in how it's going to work, and the reason why is because it all comes down to where they motion, like where they actually snap Tavon Austin. So, again, you're going to be right in here. You're going to shade your coverage in. You've got your 3-rec hook zone. Now, once this guy goes in motion, you're going to see that I'm manning him up with Adrian Amos. Now, if they snap the ball right here, then you're golden. You're golden. You see Jair Alexander is going to sit on Devontae Adams' route. It's an automatic interception if they try to throw that ball. Okay? Automatic interception. Now, the thing that the offense can do here is they can try to take advantage a little bit of the matching defense with this play. It doesn't always work out for them, but they can try. So what you'll notice here is I'm going to snap Tavon Austin all the way outside. So I'm still cross-manning, but if you watch, I'm going to let him get all the way outside and basically try to get that guy to match on him. You see right here, he goes underneath, and then I have that crosser. Now, you saw Kevin King played that really, really well. But if they snap the ball where that corner is, where this receiver is all the way out here, okay, you have to make an adjustment. You have to make an adjustment and say, okay, there's no way this guy's getting open. Very difficult for him to get open. I have got to make an adjustment, and if I see a crossing route, I need to go over top. It won't always get open, as you saw right there, it didn't, but that crossing route has a much better chance of getting over than the slant. The crossing route's 1-on-1, the slant is 1-on-3. Okay? So you need to go get the crossing route in that situation. Now, another thing that they might do is they might try to throw like post routes. So, for example, they might use something like the play curl flat, but when they motion Devontae Adams across, they're going to put him on a post route. Again, that's why I like to put whoever they motion, he's going in man coverage. So like with this, we don't even have to change it because we already have man coverage. But if you watch here, again, route tech, you see double teamed, inside leverage, not happening. Not an open option. So, what do they have to do to move the ball if they're in trips tight end? Well, one of the options is what they would call an idiot beater. What it simply means is this is a play that they'll go to when they want to play simple. And that would be to essentially call the play doubles and sail, smart route, that corner route, and then essentially an out route, a curl, and a hitch. This combination right here. Now, and I know that we've got that hitch, or we should have that curl in man-to-man coverage. So this should still bag everything. If you look here, everything's taken away. You just need to cover the hitch yourself. Everything on the right side should get taken by the match coverages. Your job is to simply cover the left side. So you see here, match coverage takes that away very nicely with the 3-rec. You see that 3-rec does get out there very nicely. You just have to come out here. Unfortunately, the quarter flat zone does not do a great job, nor does the inside quarter at coming down once those things curl up. They just kind of sit back in no man's land. So you have to go take the hitch route. That's why you're always with your user. You are always running to the left at the snap of the ball. It's like super, super important. Okay. Real quick, a little blitz from the quarters is just, blitz all your linebackers straight down. And then what I'm going to do is I'm simply going to take this safety right here, and I'm going to bring him, kind of pinch him in just a little bit. And the thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to throw him into a purple zone, and I'm going to shade my coverage down. And really what this is cover 3 match, basically. But if they try to throw something like doubles and sail at you, you're going to get an instant interception. You see right here, you've got hard flat coverage, and you've got tight end coverage. So either way they go, this is an interception. And this is, again, I would use the blitzes that are in the ebook to show you exactly how you want to stop that, or how you want to set this blitz up. But basically, it's going to send pressure. You're going to send a bunch of pressure at them, and they're going to probably force a blind throw to that right there, and you're going to pick it off every time. Okay? Because they're going to probably try to lob it thinking it's cover 2. In reality, it's quarters. So that's trips tight end. I mean, I'm trying to think of anything else that they're really going to do from trips tight end. Those are the biggest things, other than, like, the doubles and sail. Again, the thing with that, and again, when you man this guy up, it changes everything. When he can actually play him, that is huge. But if you watch, like if they try to throw quick to the flat here, they do have that. But you're tackling. You should be able to tackle and get, just a couple yards, in that situation. Now, one thing you can do is if they are abusing your throw, if they are just abusing you to the flat, okay, and you're running quarters, here's one little tip. If they are abusing you to the flat, okay, all you're going to do is you're going to shade your coverage down to create hard flats, and then you're going to blitz that defensive end. So now you've got hard flats on both sides. They can't throw instant to the flat on either side. You're still in quarters over the top. So the only thing that you really have to deal with is if triangle, goes on a corner from X spot, right? That's something. But doubles in sale, you're going to see right here, they try to throw the flat, they're getting negative 1 yard, or they're throwing an interception, okay? Now, the one thing with that, I do want to show you just really quickly here, I want to show you the weakness. So, the weakness of that, and this is why I would not run this, I would not run this unless, you know, I really am worried about the flat, because if they on the left side, let's say they run X spot, okay, and they fade square, that receiver should be open on the left side. So you see here, right, he's open. The quarter does do a decent job of getting over there, though. So, you know, but the other thing is, like, yeah, I mean, if he goes vertical, you've got him too. So I mean, you'll be fine. You'll be fine in that. You can just shade coverage down here. Now, if you think about, you know, who's going to go to the flat, more than likely it's going to be the circle receiver. So another thing that you can do as you kind of get adjusty with your zones, let's say you're worried about X spot. Throw that triangle, throw your slot corner into a vert hook. If they run X spot, should be completely bagged. That's an instant interception. That's a pick six. Okay? So that's another thing that you can do, because you don't have to worry so much about the flat because you have match coverage. The match coverage is going to take the flat if it goes from him. The only person that's open, if they run a true flat route, okay, if you were to set your defense up like this, where you've got that man coverage on that side, right, and that vert hook, the only person that can get to the flat is going to be the triangle receiver. So they're going to have to do that. And if they do that, if you watch here, you see, I mean, okay. You know, okay. But traditional covers will cover that. That's just if you want to try to stop that one specific thing, you know. But anyways, that's trips tight end. So let's spend a little bit on bunch, and let's spend a little bit on bunch. Now, really quick, for those of you guys watching, if you guys have not watched our weekly show, where we have a weekly show every Wednesday night, where basically I have a guest on and I share just a little bit about what their expertise is, whether it's being roster construction. Last week we had Yashi on the show. We talked a little lot about defense. This week we're looking to get somebody on to talk a lot about offense. So really, really excited about that. We're going to talk about some passing concepts and some really cool things for you. So if you guys have not already come to the live streams yet, we stream every single night at 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. Okay, guys, so I want to talk about bunch, and I really just want to talk about a couple things from gun bunch. Gun bunch is not super complicated, but if you don't know if you don't understand, I mean, I guess it is kind of complicated, because bunch is the thing. Trips side, I would much rather play a trips player than a bunch player with this defense, okay? Bunch is tricky, to say the least, okay? But the beauty is 3-3-5 wide does a pretty good job when you understand, again, where you want to drop people based off of a 3-by-1. And the cool part about quarters when it's applied to a bunch set is you get the special check. What the special check means is the special check essentially means that wherever the square receiver goes, or the solo receiver, wherever he goes, he's going to be covered in man-to-man coverage. So, for example, let's say that I put him on a drag route. You're going to see that receiver, or that corner on the left side, is going to take him on the drag, as you can see right there. Okay? If he's on a drag, if he's on an out, if he's on a streak, if he's on a curl, if he's on it doesn't matter what he's on, that corner is going to guard him in man-to-man coverage. Okay? So that's just a little piece of information. So what I like to do is I like to go ahead and, even if he's on a smoke screen, okay? So let me show you a smoke screen for a second here. Watch this. Smoke screen, he's in man coverage. That corner will not go guard the running back. You see that right there? The corner did not go guard him. He's in man coverage. So hang with me on this, but what I like to do is I like to go ahead and just man him up, okay? I think that you're going to get better animations that way, better overall coverage. So what that practically means is, again, we always want to be shifting our defensive line to the side of strength. In this example right here, we're going to shift them to the left. If you want to be a little better against the pass against gun bunch, spread your D-line. It gives you more flexibility, and the runs from gun bunch aren't that difficult to blow up, okay? Just make sure that you bring these guys over your tackle, like that right there, little 3. It's basically like a 3-3-5 stack type of look from the safeties, okay? Now, what you want to do on the bunch side, okay, is, in the beauty of this, the way this defense is going to work, you have 2 players that you can drop into coverage on that bunch side. You can drop your linebacker, and you can drop your safety over on that side. Now, the quarters coverage, if you think about quarters coverage from this alignment, the biggest glitch that you're going to have to deal with is the circle receiver. So on this, what I like to do is I like to take this linebacker on the outside, Redmond, and I like to man him up onto the circle receiver. So the outside receiver in the bunch. Just like that right there. And then pretty much the only other thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to drop the defensive end on the bunch side into a 3-rec. And that's about it. That's pretty much it. And you'll find, let's say that they run the play, flood. I want you to watch what happens here. You see that this guy up here up the seam is going to get taken in man-to-man coverage by the linebacker. Now remember, that's going to be a safety at that position, and he's going to have 90-plus speed. Okay, especially if you're the Packers in regs, he is going to have 90-plus speed. That is an absolute critical thing. What that does is it leaves a lot of flexibility for you to do a bunch of stuff with this left side guy, and this, both of the quarters, you can really do a lot with them. But if you watch how they play just as is, you're going to notice against the play flood, which is, in my opinion, the best play from gun bunch, you're going to see you're going to have a pretty decent shot. You're not going to always stop it, but you are going to have a shot at stopping flood just straight out of the gate. And I think flood is the hardest play to stop from gun bunch because it's the most traditional thing that you're going to get. Now, the thing I will go ahead and talk a little bit about with flood, if I sit back and run this one more time, what you're going to notice is, again, you see right into your outside quarter, okay? And that outside quarter will sit because of the man coverage that you have on the circle receiver who is going vertical. The outside quarter says, I don't need to go cover him. I can snap back down on the out route. Now, I want to dig into this a little bit in instant replay and share with you kind of what is happening on this play. So, if you watch here, to the flat, quarter flat takes him. The 3-rec starts to the flat, but then he realizes, oh, the quarter flat's got him, so I'm going to drop back into this little pocket right here. The reason this is important, a lot of people will low ball the out route right on the cut, right on the break. You don't have to worry about that because that 3-rec is going to basically fall right into that spot. So they're going to have to hold the ball, and they're going to have to hold the ball long enough that it's going to give this guy a chance to make a play on the ball. Now, he's not always going to make that play right there, but he will enough times that it will absolutely make them think twice about throwing that ball. Okay, I guarantee it. They will think twice about throwing that ball. Okay, so let me go over that one more time, and I want you to watch this in real time, and then we're going to talk about the other side of the formation real quick. So again, I'm going to drop the 3-rec, man coverage over there on that side. That's it. That's all I got to do. I just got to man up the circle receiver, and that takes away every single bomb that somebody can do from bunch. Is if you just man up circle, there ain't nothing they can do unless they've got a hot route master quarterback, which if they do have a hot route master quarterback, it's really not a lot they can do. You just need to kind of monitor some stuff. So anyways, let's go over flood real quick. Snap the ball. And once again, I'm going to sit. Now I'm going to wait. And you see, that's the one issue right there that you just saw. If I wait on flood, and it drives me absolutely nuts, if for whatever reason, I just don't understand why this happens, but if I wait on flood, what you'll notice, unfortunately, this corner on the outside, he's guarding nobody. I don't know why he drifts back here, but he is guarding nobody back here. But he is. I mean, he literally guards nobody, and you're able to throw the ball. Okay? So, what do you do in that scenario? And how do you deal with that? Couple different things that you can do. The first thing that you can do is again, mess around with your drops. So, for example, I I could do a lot of different things, okay? I could man up. Remember we talked about spreading the linebackers? So I could man him up. Remember that spreading the linebacker trick to get the man coverage to play a little better? I could do the same thing from the bunch. And you'll see here, he's going to automatically win that press. The problem is, as you see, Devontae still gets out and is able to beat that. So, that is an issue, okay? So that's not going to work. The next thing that I can do is I could take the lineman on the right side of the screen, and I could drop him into a curl flat. Now this will take it away. If I drop that lineman into a curl flat, essentially what we've done is we've run a Mabel quarters. So curl flat will drop right into that area of the field. He won't always intercept it, but he will always play it. Okay, so that's one option that will work for you. The other thing that you can do, and this is my preferred method, okay? And let me just show you. So, again, we talk about man coverage, right? So, with the routes on the left side, in a perfect world, I would only have to worry about the running back at a bunch. If I could play really good defense, from a user perspective, I would only have to worry about the running back if I can get this to work. So, I'm in quarters, and what I'm going to do, spread the line, crash it out, right? Now, here's the key. Here's the key element. I'm going to man up. I'm just going to man him up. So I'm going to man up the linebacker on the running back. And then I don't have to man up the square receiver. He's already going to be in man coverage. But if I wanted to, I could man him up, and I'm going to shade them inside. You see that right there? That movement by that corner shades him inside, right? If I'm not in man, so if I'm just in cover 4 and I shade inside, you see he doesn't move, okay? That's important. That's actually really, really important. It's a subtle thing, but it makes a big difference, right? You can basically get that corner to move if you're in man coverage, or if you man him up and then shade inside. Now we come back over here, right? So same thing, we're shading inside. So we've got those two guys manned up. We've got the whole left side of the field manned up, okay? Now, what I would recommend doing is with this guy, you can kind of do a lot of different things, okay? You can do a lot of different things with this guy. You could put him in a hook curl. You could put him in a curl flat. You could leave him in the quarter. And there's a justification for all of those different things. I'm just going to leave him in the quarter, okay? Because it's going to help with crossing routes. Anything that is like a post route or crossing route, it's going to help with that. There are scenarios where you would want to put this guy in a curl flat or a hook curl. Okay, or what you could also do is you could put this guy, King, into a hook curl. I actually really like this adjustment. So you put King into a hook curl, and you put Amos into a hard flat or a seam flat, right? Or a curl flat, whatever. You know what I mean? This right here is a really, really good adjustment. Now, when you do that, what it's going to do is, because the running back's going to go on a curl route, the yellow zone on the left now knows, oh, I've got another yellow zone that's going to help me, okay? I don't have to worry too much about the running back. So now he's going to drift more to the outside. You see right there, drifts more to the outside, and now you see that the corner, it gives enough time for the corner to kind of click, and it's a bang-bang play, but the corner is going to be able to make that play. The reason I spend so much time talking about flood when I talk about defending gun bunch, it's the number one play that I struggle the most with when I run this coverage, okay? And if I can stop this play, watch right here. Look at that. There is absolutely, positively nothing open, okay? The best chance they got is that out route. And as you see, that yellow zone drifts more to the outside than it normally would, because there's no need for him to go to the left. Okay, let me show you an example of this being even worse. So I'm going to take the running back and I'm going to put him on a wheel route. Okay, now if they were a smart bunch player, they would probably almost always put him on an option route. But let's say they want to put him on a flat route, right? And the reason they might want to put him on a wheel route is because you're running a lot of what I just told you about. You're running a lot of the vertical hook adjustment. The vertical hook adjustment does a really good job for being able to stop stuff. So, let's say they do something like that. So again, you're going to see here, I'm going to man up. I'm going to shade inside. You see the movement on the left side. That's going to allow Perry Nickerson to be able to play in routes, post routes, slant routes, and drag routes very, very well. Okay, so you've got that man coverage. The next thing that you've got is you've got this quarter flat. Now you can do a lot with this. Okay, what I would recommend, like I said, is if you want to play traditional quarters, go ahead and leave this if you're worried about like a tight end post route or tight end whatever. However, if you're not worried, and even if you are worried about that, I think this adjustment right here makes a lot of sense. As long as you're not worried that he's going to get burned deep. Like if that's Tyreek Hill on the left side, you never want to leave a solo coverage. If it's not, you should be fine. Okay? But anyway, you have that coverage, Now I want you to watch. This is with the wheel route. I want you to watch on the right side. You're going to watch and you're going to notice that 3 rec is going to get way out there. And as you can see there, it's another bang-bang play. You're going to win some, you're going to lose some with that adjustment. And if you really want to stop it, you can. If you really want to stop it, you can. And here's how I would recommend stopping it. I would recommend, if I really, really wanted to stop this play, okay, and again, you have to understand how the coverage works, because you're going to have to you're going to have to make an adjustment to make sure you don't get bombed. The problem is this is going to open up all the other stuff, so you only want to go to this adjustment if you know they're running the flood play, okay? We're going to deep half Jackson, okay? We're going to deep half Jackson, and then we're going to take Alexander, we're going to put him in a soft squat, just like that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take Redmond. We're spreading our linebackers, of course, and we're going to drop Redmond into a vertical hook, and then we're going to still drop the 3 rec hook. Now, we got 5 zones on the right side of the field. If we don't stop this route, this is bonk. I mean, this is not. We have to be able to stop this. So, again, you set your man coverage. You set your zone. Shade inside. Boom. You still got your 2-man rush. You've got everything manned up on the left side. If there's a crossing route coming from right to left, that hook curl typically will match that. So now if you watch how this is going to play out, this is traditional flood, okay, with an option route. I want you to watch here. There's no way they can complete it. There's no window to throw the out route. This is like a 3rd and 5 defense. You know they're going to run flood, and let's jump into the replay. And again, this isn't even usering it, right? I mean, obviously you could user it. But look, on the back end here, this is the option route. Now you see the option route, and again, that's where our user would probably go. You know, that's where the user would probably go. Okay, on this defense, because there's nothing else to really go get. You see that hook curl does a really good job of kind of taking that yellow zone away, or that in route away from him. You see, I mean, where are they going to throw the in route, right? He matches really, really well. But if you look on the right side, you notice that we have it pretty much taken away. Now, what you'll also notice is we do have 2 people going in the same spot. You know, so if you wanted to be a little safer, you know, and you didn't want to, you know, and again, this is primarily because, again, if you think about what they're going to do, from bunch, there's a couple key things you got to watch out for. You got to watch out for corner routes. You got to watch out for, you know, you got to watch out for flood routes, right? That's what you've got to watch out for. So another thing we could do in this defense is we could go ahead and soft squat, deep half out there, right? And then instead of dropping that vertical hook, what we could do is we could just drop him in man coverage, right? And shade. And I would do this right here on that left side. I would zone off here, because no matter what, they're not going to have anything on that side. But as you see right here now, if you take a look at this defense, now you have man-to-man coverage on the flood route. And if you go back and watch this now, I mean, if they throw this, they're crazy. You know, I mean, there's a lot of jerseys over there. You know, another thing you could also do is if you wanted to, if you don't, for whatever reason, like the 3 rec, you could drop a vertical hook. The vertical hook, if you notice, the vertical hook will get out there a little bit better. So this is another thing real quick I want to hit on flood just one more time. This is the just standard match version. If you look, that vertical hook will get out there pretty well. And as you'll see, they'll kind of combine really well together. As long as we don't, and this is without a soft squat, okay? This is without a soft squat. So we're literally just putting, we're just putting that right there. And again, I just want you to watch. I just want you to watch how this is going to play on the out route. So this is with a vertical hook. You'll notice that, I mean, you see right there, pretty nice little animations, you know, pretty nice defense. I mean, it's a tough throw. The vertical hook might be a little bit better in gun bunch than a 3-rec because there's nothing you have to go get. If they motion over, which I do want to hit on that really quickly, that's where I would use 3-rec. So for example, let's say that they, oh gosh, for sake of the video, we're just going to use this combination right here. Okay, and I know that it's a crappy substitute, but let's just say they're running mesh post, okay? What you're going to do, again, your base setup, right? So I've got this guy in man coverage, and then on the back side, I've got a curl flat zone, I've got a vert hook, and then I've got man coverage over here. I really like that combination, and then the 3-rec. The motion over slant against a 3-rec is going to be very difficult to complete. So you'll see right here, watch. If you watch, that 3-rec will sit on it, as you see. Now, if that's mutt, where you've got a really fast linebacker, you're going to play that really, really well. In regs, you're not going to play that as well. And so I kind of like to hedge my bet a little bit. And what I mean by that is if we use the vertical hook, and again, whenever somebody gets motioned, I almost always man them up. Almost always will cross man. So right here, you know, we're running our play and we see, oh, they motion Adams over. Well, we got to guard him, you know, as far as we got to cross man him. So we cross man him, and look, he's going to run right into a vertical hook. He's going to run right into some other zones on that side. So that's all I'm trying to get at there is the cross man will certainly help. It does, out of bunch, cross manning, because it's such a compressed set, does not always do everything we need it to do. But as you'll see right here, you know, this does an okay job. Okay. Let's talk about traditional flood concepts out of bunch just for one more second. Like I said, flood is the worst. It's the hardest play to stop. If they run Z spot, this is the best defense for Z spot in the game. Okay, so we're just spreading our line, crashing it out, pass committing, and then on this right side again, we're just manning up the out route, throwing either a 3-rec or a vertical hook. If you want to throw a vertical hook, that's fine, depending on what you want to do. I think 3-rec hook's going to play a little bit better if they're throwing more in the middle. If they're throwing more to the outside, probably go vert hook. Okay, and then on this backside, we're just running man. And this defense right here is really good with that hook. You guys have no idea how glitchy that hook curl will play against a lot of stuff in gun bunch. And this allows you to not have to man up the running back. But anyways, if you watch this corner route, you'll see there's no possible way they can complete this corner route. You see there, instant, it will almost always be an interception. Almost always. There's no way they can complete a corner route to the outside now. Corner routes out of bunch are completely taken away with this defense. That's the beauty of it. Now, I want to explain a couple things. So first thing, if you take a look here, if you look at this through the lens of like a playmaker, if they have playmaker, they're going to be playmakering it right back into this guy, which is not a great strategy. Another thing I want you to watch is this hook curl. Watch what this does. See how it matches that tight end vertical? Isn't that interesting? Hook curls are very glitchy, in my opinion, and very underused. They are very, you will see they match a lot. They do a lot of matching. But as you see over here on the right, we take the out because we have him in man coverage. The outside quarter does his job and takes the ball away. And that's how you stop flood concepts. Any corner route. So, and the beauty of it is it can be any, specifically out of gun bunch, any corner route gets stopped. So like bench pivot, for example. This is another popular route, right? So we just set up our defense here. And there's our setup. And if you watch this tight end corner, a lot of people like to throw this. It's going to be taken away every time. Completely taken away every single time. Now, one thing I haven't hit on real quick, and I did want to show this, is there is a couple of things that people can also do that will help a little bit with this matching issue that we're running into, specifically from corner routes from gun bunch. So quarter flats, especially in this defense, are going to do a fairly decent job at matching. So like right here, I'm going to go to Z spot. I just want you to watch the right side here. And I'll go over exactly what I'm doing in just a moment, but I just want you to watch kind of the adjustments here. What you're going to see is this gets matched onto still by the quarter flat. The quarter flat will match that corner route vertically every single time. So then I want you to come back into the replay here, and I just want you to see kind of what we're doing. So, and this takes that corner route. It doesn't take all of them, but again, here, if you look, corner route's taken away. There's no corner route, but we also keep very good deep integrity by deep halving on this side of the field, and we have an inside quarter. So another little adjustment that you can make out of quarters, if you want to, is you can deep half your outside corner if you want to. Okay, you can do that. And let me show you again. Let me show you this through the lens of the play bench pivot. Okay, so if I deep half this outside guy, right? Look at that right there. There's the coverage, and then I just want you to watch the tight end corner. You'll see he matches him again. See how the quarter flat takes any corner out from bunch, it'll take it. So you don't necessarily have to sit in quarters. You can actually roll it, and what I mean by rolling it is literally just simply by deep halving. The beauty of deep halving is you'll never get beat deep. You'll never be able to get burned over the top if you deep half that outside guy. He will almost never get burned. You see right there, just runs right with him, stride for stride. He's going to take it away every time. The issue is, let's say that you run up against a play like, the flood concept, okay? Right, here's flood, same coverage. The problem is when there's a flat zone over there, to take him out of the way and there's no corner zone for him to climb, the out route will now be super wide open. As you see, there ain't nobody over there. Okay, so that's kind of the cat and mouse game. Now, what you could do is you could play some cover 6 invert almost, where you take this safety and put him on a hook curl, and then you obviously have your vertical hook. You have your zones out there now, and the reason you would do something like this is for this specific play. You'll notice the hook curl will typically match and get out there. He didn't on that one, but he does typically get out there. If I put him on a curl flat zone or something, he will get out there. Okay. Now we only have a few minutes, and like I said, if you want to get the full defense, it's in the description for you, and it's just $15. And I'm telling you, it literally walks you through step by step how to do everything that you need to know how to do. But the last piece of this is I want to share with you a defense that I have been using a lot of. I actually learned the concept initially from Zan and then from Deuce Close, and I've kind of put my own spin on it a little bit. But basically, this is specifically designed for compression sets, in particular bunch tight end. It's really good against bunch tight end. It's really good against tight doubles. And it's really designed for some of these corner routes that you'll see a lot out of these types of formations. So tight end curl, flood drive, with zig unders and all this stuff. If you've played a lot of Madden, you've probably seen some version of this mesh spot play. So here's the adjustments. All you're going to do is you're going to go into your coaching adjustments. Just put your flats on 30. Okay, that's it. Now, what I like to do is I actually like to leave these to default. If you want to, and if they're throwing a lot of underneath routes, put your curl flats on 5. But I personally like to leave them on default if I can. Okay? Now, all I'm going to do is I'm going to still audible down to cover 4 quarters when I'm against this. And when I play tight offset, normally there's 0-1 traps and stuff like that. So you're going to see I'm going to pretty regularly shift to the running back side. And then the base adjustment is to put both your outside corners into curl flat zones. Cloud flat zones at 30 yards. What this means is if they run a corner route, like this route to Adams, right? The route to Adams will not get open. And of course, as I say that, he gets open. He should not get open, okay? That cloud flat should get out there. Now, if the cloud flat, for whatever reason, doesn't get out there, what you want to do is you want to base a line. Okay, against compression, yes, you do want to base a line. And the reason why is because now what you'll notice is, let's say I try to throw this corner route. Okay, now I try to sit and go throw this corner route, and you see that they get out there and they play it. Okay, I would try to start with not doing that. I would try to be able to start where I don't have to, to base a line. It's definitely not an advantage to the defense to be in that alignment. you would much rather, like, I would almost rather not press, right? And give this away. The problem is if you don't press and you don't, they're going to know you're not in man coverage. So you see if he's off coverage, he stops him. Now, the reason why we do that is because there's no vertical threat. Okay, within this package. So the inside quarters, the only vertical threats are in the middle of the field. There's no vertical threats on the outside of the field. So the reason that matters is, let's say they motion out Lazard. Whoever they motion out, that's who you would man up. Okay, if they motion out, whoever they motion out, you'll man them up with that blitzing linebacker. Now, real quick, so we have that's our base adjustment, but you're probably thinking like I am, okay, now what? Well, what we're going to do is we're going to 3-rec on the side of the running back. So whoever that's going to mean, normally it's going to be the defensive tackle is going to go into a 3-rec. And then on the other side, the linebacker, there's a lot of things we can do with him. But generally what I'm going to do is I'm going to probably put him into a vertical hook, or I'm going to put him into man coverage, again, on whoever motions out. So if nobody motions out, he's in a vertical hook. If somebody motions out, he's in man-to-man on whoever gets motioned. So whoever gets motioned on the play, that linebacker guards him man-to-man. Okay? But if you watch this, again, just want you to watch on this left side. As long as you pass commit, you should be fine against that, even if you're up like that. You just want to make sure, like, I just can't stress how important it is to make sure that you pass commit, even if you have to move them, because you definitely don't want to get bombed from a tight offset type thing by the corner route. But you'll see right here, as long as we pass commit and really make sure that we're making a big time effort to do that, there's really nothing that they can, from a corner route perspective, there's not a lot they're going to have. You'll see here, corner route, you see he gets backed off, and bam, we're able to take it away. So that's going to be good against any compression, whether it be eye close, strong close. It's the same for every single compression set. So if they're in strong close, okay, just imagine that he's in strong close, and Adams is the tight end, Jones is the running back, and Lazard is the wide receiver on the right, and Valdez-Scantling's the receiver on the left. Okay, just imagine that for a second with me. Again, we got the cloud flats here. Now, again, whoever gets motion. So against strong close, you would shift it to the right. And then again, you would 3-rec the nose tackle, or the defensive end on the right, which would be Gary. And then whoever's a man-to-man. What I would start out with in strong close is I would start out with this guy probably manned up on the circle receiver. And then wherever that circle receiver goes, he's got to deal with that manned up. All you got to worry about is a tight end post route. Okay, if you're able to do that, you're able to really play them. And as you can see right there, that's the beauty of this. So if they send vertical, you just have to man up on the person that goes vertical. Okay. But anyways, guys, that is the quarters defense. That is a very straight to the point version of it. Actually, there's a lot more coming on quarters and match coverage, but what I want you to know is if you want to dive deep into the 3-3-5 and 3-3-5 wide defense, it is a very, very deep defense, and it's just $15 for the whole thing. So for just $15, you'll be able to learn how to use a rush out of everything. You'll be able to learn how to blitz. You'll be able to learn run defense. You'll be able to learn max coverage setups. You'll be able to learn man coverage setups to complement with your quarters. Use this quarters defense. This is the most up-to-date quarters, but everything else in the ebook does still apply to this. It's just you can pair the both of them is what I'm saying. So again, that ebook is probably the best defensive ebook I've ever written. It's very simple. It's very easy to follow. A lot of people that have picked it up have had a lot of success. So if you have not gotten the defensive ebook, it is available for you in the description. It's just $15 to get it. My offense is also on sale for just $15. I run bunch tight end, and I've been really, really effective with that. But I would encourage you, if you're looking to get better on the defense side of the ball, I get a lot of messages of, I can't stop bunch tight end, or I can't stop strong close, or I can't stop gun bunch, or trips tight end, or tight whatever. The ebook will help you. I guarantee it. And I'm telling you right now, if you pair what we talked about in this video with what I've covered in the ebook, your defense is going to be elite. The tip that I gave against trips tight end is literally a $150,000 tip. If Pavin would have done that one thing, spread the linebackers, shade inside, if he would have done that one thing, he probably would have won $150,000 in the club championships. Trips tight end defense alone, the 3-3-5 wide is the way to go, in my opinion, and I don't think anybody can argue it. We've been running it since June. We've got the reps. And so, like I said, if you want to get that ebook, it is available for you in the description. Now, if you're watching this video still and you have, maybe you've gotten an ebook, or maybe you're looking for some really, really serious, in-depth stuff, if you want to book a one-on-one coaching session, there's a link to do that in the description as well. That's kind of the deepest level that we go, and that's where literally we get on one-on-one, and I literally walk you through anything that you want to cover or anything that I think you need to know, and we've really turned some people's games around. So if you haven't picked up one of those yet, that's also available for you in the description. But super, super excited about the show this week. We're going to have some great conversation about offense, and again, that's going to be every Wednesday night. And what we're going to be trying to move toward going forward for you guys is we're going to be trying to move toward a spot where basically the text message membership videos go out on Saturday, and then the weekly shows are on Wednesday night at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. So two different things a week, really. But anyways, thanks for watching. And again, if you have any questions, just hit me up via text message. You got my new number. It'll be in the top left-hand corner. It'll also be in the description of this video. Thanks for watching, guys. I really, really appreciate your support. And let me know if you have any questions. Have a good week.